Today we get strong like bull and discuss strength in the off-season. If you'd like to continue the conversation following to the show, feel free to reach out for a complimentary needs assessment. info@purplepatchfitness.com. We're here to help, but now let's get on with the show. I'm Matt Dixon, and welcome to the Purple Patch Podcast. The mission of Purple Patch is to empower and educate every human being to reach their athletic potential. Through the lens of athletic potential, you reach your human potential. The purpose of this podcast is to help time-starved people everywhere integrate sport into life. And welcome to the Purple Patch Podcast. As ever, your host Matt Dixon, and today we dig into the central backbone of the off-season. For every athlete, whether you're chasing world-class performance or you're just getting into the sport. In fact, even if you're just thinking about your longevity and your health, we are here to discuss strength training as it relates to off-season. It is the time. If you have struggled to get on the strength train over the last season, or maybe you haven't ever really got going on it, we see it all the time, and the good news is the opportunity meets the alignment. Here we come, because now is the time to fix it. This is the time. In fact, I speak from personal experience. I'm not preaching here, but I am saying that 1 year ago, I repeatedly have fallen off the wagon and I said, I'm locking in, I'm doing it. And here I am a year later, I feel the benefits. And so I can be evangelical. I can also say, look at me. And I don't often get to do that in my world of performance. Today, I'm going to lay out the case for off-season strength, provide you with the rewards if you commit to it, and provide you with a practical blueprint of how to integrate it without taking up too much time. After all, we want to remember that off-season is also an important moment to rejuvenate, to have greater flexibility, and of course, to develop our skills and technique. But I want to start today with a short case study. I want to tell you a story about a real Purple Patch athlete. And if you listen to this and you're not compelled, inspired to go and grab a weight or pull down some resistant bands, well, I struggle to know what could get you off the couch or out of the running trails and into the strength room. His name is Dave Prey. He's a Purple Patch athlete. He's been an athlete of ours for the last 3 years. He's in his mid-70s. He lives in Virginia. He's a lifelong cyclist and endurance enthusiast. And I tell you what, Dave, he's a good guy. He's come to a couple of our camps and he loves to take on a challenge. He has an extensive athletic background. That is the fabric of his story so far. He's also still highly engaged professionally. He owns and operates his own business. And the company's fantastic. They actually build these amazing amphitheaters that go into as music venues and concert venues in all sorts of regions around the country. He's been a Purple Patch athlete for almost 3 years now. And for more than the last decade, as he ventured into his 60s, he's been incredibly passionate about longevity, quality of life, and aiming to retain both his cognitive performance and also his athletic functional health as long as possible for the years ahead. And so he's been following a variety of performance experts, including people that you've probably heard of, like Peter Attia and many, many others. And so this is a performance-driven person that has taken it seriously for many years. And 3 years ago or so, he joined us. So he was already invested in his health. He was already riding a lot. He was already really anchored on personal well-being and performance, not just in sport, but also in broader life. But at the same time, he thought there must be more. And he trusted us, thankfully, with his journey. And we're proud to have him as a part of Purple Patch. And so Dave really fits squarely into my loving nickname for a group that we have that is represented highly at Purple Patch. We call it our AARP anarchists, mature athlete group of folks that are performing for sport but also broader life. Almost represented as much as our perimenopausal women and, of course, our busy executives. We have different groups under this umbrella, and 3 of them are represented a lot. So Dave is a part of our unofficial AARP anarchists. And so here we have a man who's in his 70s. He's already adhering to practices that promote fitness and health. And he doesn't really, if you think about this, emerge as a candidate that you would anticipate improvements in functional muscle mass. In other words, he's not going to be one of these characters that increases his lean body mass, his muscles, while also we wouldn't necessarily expect huge upticks in performance gains. After all, he is getting older year by year. But through our approach, this is what Dave has done over the last couple of years. Firstly, he radically shifted his fueling and eating habits. He ended up consuming more daily calories and increased his daily protein. So that's an important, almost supplementary habit that we would do. In his cycling, we mixed up the training a little bit. He was already doing plenty of miles of training. We haven't really reduced his total training volume, but we injected two core components. Number one, a series of very, very high intensity short intervals. And we did that almost weekly, most weeks of the year. And secondly, the Purple Patch Special Sauce. We did really consistent low RPM, so low cadence, strength endurance cycling intervals. Those are the things that we consistently see boost cycling performance across the broad range. And then the third component, our theme for today, is he really embraced and doubled down on strength training. Not just core, stability, athleticism, mobility, but also very real strength training. And he started about 3 years ago, but for the last 2 years really ramped it up. We put it up as the bullseye, both because we represented it in this podcast, but also in our coaching of Dave. And so he consistently followed the Purple Patch Strength Training Program over the last 2 years. So I want to go through the quantifiable aspects of this progression, because happenstance is really into longevity. 2 years ago, he had a DEXA scan. DEXA scan is breaking down your composition of your muscles and your fat all around your body, and also looking at your bone density. And so we looked at how his body composition was, how his bone density was 2 years ago. He also got a full blood profile. So looking at all of the aspects related to cardiovascular health, overall functional health markers of longevity, and of course, broader health. And so here he is, 2 years, going along, feeling the benefits. He's saying, I feel stronger. I'm actually getting a little bit more resilient on the bike. I'm getting more power on the hills. They feel less daunting, etc. But just a few weeks ago, he went and replicated those same assessments, DEXA scan, full blood profile. Really, really good. So here's the results that I think is really compelling. Number one, his body weight is the same. So he's low 160s. He's a lean guy typically, but he's low 160s. Okay, so his body weight has not really changed over the last 2 years. But his bone density in his 70s has improved. He is stronger, more robust. And here's the key thing. He has increased his lean body mass, aka muscle, by 8 pounds. Think about that as a percentage of that 160 to 162 pounds that he weighs. He's increased 8 pounds of lean muscle mass, and he has lost 7 pounds of fat, including a significant reduction, 35% less of the disease-inducing visceral fat. So this is an incredible shift, and some might say it really highlighting someone in their 70s. You just wouldn't expect this. His blood markers, all major blood markers for health and performance, have increased significantly. It's so impressive that his doctors requested a reassessment. Can you go and get this done? Providing similar results. So the quantifiable data doesn't lie here. But in addition to this, there's the qualitative side of it. Dave also reports continued improvement for his energy, and that improving his performance of riding his bike, improvements of performance under pressure in the workplace, greater cognitive function, and daily energy. He is bringing more to what he is bringing both professionally and his passion of riding his bike. He is at greater daily function than he can ever remember, and literally has more spring in his step. And really for me, that's why we're doing this. The key thing for me in this case study is this isn't a story of transformation through intervention. This wasn't a person that was doing it all wrong, that we course correct and got a good upswing. This is someone that was doing it all almost right and just infused a few key shifts in habits around nutrition, dialed down some of the intensity and load and created more variance in his cycling training, his main modality of passion, and infused the backbone, starting in off-season, of strength and conditioning. And the results boosted not only his cycling performance, but how he is showing up in life. And this is key. So let me tell you this to kick off today's show. If Dave can do it, you can do it too. If Dave can do it, you can do it too. Strong like bull. Or fast as F in 2026. That's what we're driving through today, and we want to talk about strength and conditioning. And let me tell you, we can help. Whether you're looking for an off-season strength program that leads into a year-round strength program, if you're self-coached, it's a great program to supplement, and we have that as a standalone option. Or if you're interested to start the journey now in the team as a one-to-one coached athlete or a part of our highly popular Tri-Squad program, this is the ideal time. We're here to help. Reach out. You know it. info@purplepatchfitness.com. And what we'll do is we'll set up a complimentary needs assessment. We'll listen to your goals, your situation. We'll provide advice on how you should structure your off-season leading into a great 2026 year. And if it's a great fit, look, we're here to help you. We'll help you choose the right program for you. But if we're not the right fit, if you don't want to become a part of Purple Patch, that's great too. You're going to leave with solid direction and advice from our coaching team so that you can go and be equipped to be better in 2026. Feel free to reach out now. We want to help. And I tell you what, this is the time. Alrighty, so back to the regular running of the show. It is time to get into strength training for the off season. Why is it now that we want to talk about this? Why is it a compelling time to start? Well, it sets the tone. For me, this is the beginning, not the beginning of the end, but the beginning of your journey of 2026. And we haven't even got to Halloween yet, at least while I'm recording this. When your endurance training load drops, your volume is lighter, and it should be in off-season. You've finished your last races of the year. Race pressure is less. You can do less. It's much easier from a practical standpoint to shift your energy, both emotionally and practically, towards heavier strength work. You're going to accumulate load and a little bit of fatigue because we're going to be asking you to do some resistance and strength training that is designed to force adaptations of strength and power production. So it's a really good time to do it when you're not really inhibited by, goodness me, I've got a race looming just a couple of months up the line. Or I'm trying to do it, but I'm squeezing it into maximizing every single footstep or cycling pedal stroke or swim stroke that I'm doing in my endurance training. We can reduce the emphasis over there so that you can focus now. So we see athletes consistently be really successful at integrating strength now, and then they have the opportunity to set the tone and stay with it as we dial up. And so this is the time to do it for you. You don't have expectations for racing. You don't have demands from high volume of training. You have the opportunity to focus on building these words: durability, resilience, power production, rather than the phrases that we have just in the last few months: race readiness, race-specific endurance, threshold. We don't have any of that right now. In fact, when it comes to marathon running or cycling or triathlon, building fitness in the classic sense of the phrase, the way we think about it, that's not even a target right now. We're preparing the body to be able to build fitness. So now is the time that you can build strength. It's a great opportunity. This is also the part of the year, and we've talked about this so much in the last few weeks, this is now the time of the year as well, where we want to inject an integrated approach and the full suite of positive habits. And so one of those is Strength training. We want year-round strength training as a part of a performance program. So this is the time to infuse it. We also want a platform of really positive eating habits. Now's the time to do it. We also want to prioritize sleep. Now's the time to do it. And the umbrella habit that we want to have, which we're going to talk about in a few moments, is the Sunday special to unlock organizational effectiveness. So if we have all of these habits that we understand is the catalyst for integrating sport into life and continued performance progressions, now's the time to do it. And so by definition, strength training has to be a part of it. It's now. It's a really important component. And let me tell you, the athletes that are successful on a really positive off-season are the ones that tend to be really successful over the course of the coming year. And the athletes that integrate strength and conditioning are the ones that are more resilient, more economical, produce bigger power jumps, and remove the risk of injury, at least lower the risk of injury. And so there is a huge yield of you doing it now. The gains of strength is not about flexing in front of the mirror. This is about racing faster. This is also about showing up healthier in every part of your life, functionally, cognitively, and even inside looking at your blood. And so what are the gains that we can anticipate? With strength training itself, what's the yield? What's the promise here? We understand that now is the time, but what am I going to get from this? Well, of course, as with every habit, it's multifaceted. It's a really important component, whether we're thinking about you getting faster in your sport, whether you're thinking about setting yourself up with the best quality of life. The good thing is those train tracks run in parallel to each other. In an athletic sense, one of the primary components is power and economy. It's not just about how fast you can go. Sport is about how fast you can maintain over the distance, whether it's a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon, a marathon, a 100-mile running race, whether it's a sprint triathlon all the way up to an Ironman. You get it. Power isn't just about producing big watts or sprinting up a hill as fast as you can go. It's about being able to generate the force efficiently and repeatedly and being able to retain that under looming fatigue. And strength training upgrades neuromuscular system, so it improves how effectively your brain recruit the muscle fibers, and also increases how much force those fibers can generate per contraction. Your muscle fiber is either going to contract or not. There's no in between. And the amount of force it can generate relies on strength training to maximize it. That's key. This is really, really valuable on several fronts, because when you inject and add strength training into your endurance training, you have, number one, more muscle fibers that are available into the usable mix. So you have greater power potential, number one. You have greater force under fatigue because those fibers can come into play to keep your posture good, to keep your form good. And you're also, because of the neurological elements of it, you can also increase your economy. It costs you less. So in other words, infusing strength training helps the same pace and the same power cost less. That means you've got, what's it called? Staying power. And that's the value. A second value of strength training is resilience and durability. One of the primary reasons that we talk about integrating strength training for an endurance athlete is the reduction of injury risk. And that's true. In fact, back in the day, it used to be the only reason you would do it. But I always wanted to dilute the emphasis on that because, yeah, that's true, keeping you healthy, but it's not very inspiring. And the truth is, we understand now that integrating strength training is actually a performance enhancement tool. But it still remains the case that you do become more durable. There's a host of research that now shows this. In 2014, a systematic review of the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that strength training reduced sports injuries by up to 66%. And I ain't no mathematician, but that's about 2/3. And it's greatly more effective than stretching or balance training. There is a widely cited meta-analysis of randomized controlled trials across multiple sports. This is powerful stuff. But in addition to the reduction of risk of injury, you also improve your training capacity. Simply put, the more quality training that you can accumulate, the better you're going to get. And studies show that when you infuse strength training, it increases that capacity. You have stronger athletes that can maintain posture and technique, and they radically improve propulsion longer into races. So when things really count, the last 10K of a marathon, the last 20 miles of an Ironman bike ride or run, when you can actually sit with great posture, maintain good form, and maximize your propulsion, that's durability. That's what we care about. And a key ingredient is strength. For triathletes, you've felt this. When you have form collapse, once you have form collapse, you have power collapse, you have pace collapse, you go slower. But if you can retain it, then you're going to have that sustained output for longer and you're going to end up going faster. This is so important. We always talk about as a guiding principle for our athletes, all the way from the world-class pros to people that are newbies. Can we establish form under fatigue? This isn't a mindset. This is a collision between a reminding cue, posture and form, even when things are getting tired, and the physical capability to do it. And we have seen over the last 20 years of integrating strength year round that the athletes that are able to integrate it consistently unlock this form under fatigue. What we're really saying there is resilience and durability. Sounds cute, it's good on a t-shirt, but it has major performance implications. But that's not the only benefit. Body composition and metabolism is going to make you a better butter burner. We don't love the term race weight at Purple Patch, but if you do want to improve your body composition, if you do want to get a little bit lighter, and then strength and the combination of foundational positive eating habits, they don't stand alone, they're not siloed, they work together. A really smart approach to eating and nutrition with strength training is going to increase your basal metabolic rate. Your muscle tissue is a metabolically active component. It burns many more calories at rest than does your fat tissue, around 3 times more. So integrating strength training that is going to improve, as we heard with Dave Prey, the amount of your lean body mass, you become a more effective machine. Even small increases in lean mass translate into higher basal metabolic rate. This is absolutely key for off-season because, as we mentioned it, it's hard to improve body composition during your race season. The body is under so much stress. You're chasing performance gains. You're driving up to try and increase your threshold and your staying power with all of the race-specific stuff. It's just not going to happen. But now, when we can reduce emphasis of that race-specific training, we can lower the endurance focus, we can amplify the strength. So not only does it set the tone as the why, it is the time to improve your body composition, and it is the time to integrate strength. That's the key. The final component, which we shouldn't skirt around, which I think is a critically important value proposition for every athlete, is around your daily function and longevity. It's been proven in research. Strength training improves cognitive function, your ability to focus, to process information, every aspect that drives our performance in daily life. It's going to improve your daily functional capability, how you're lifting up the luggage when you put it in the overhead, climbing up the stairs without having to use the handrail, getting in and out of a chair, all of those components. And it also has a direct link to all of the components that we care around longevity and the reduction of risk of all major disease. We care about this for you. Strength training has an equal role in this, as does the cardiovascular conditioning. They work together to unlock. It even has a positive role in stress processing. When we think about the accumulation of pressure and stress, the body's response to those pressures, we have several tools at our disposal to reduce. Number 1, sleep. Number 2, proper daily hydration. Number 3, really smart eating habits. Number 4, daily movement that you process stress. Number 5, strength. It's one of the magic 5. So we want to do it. Resistance training has been linked to better executive function, working memory, processing speed. Athletes report greater mental clarity, higher energy in the day. This all wraps up into one big ball of magic performance gains. And so let me tell you, because I'm preaching here on my sermon of the value of strength, and we have spent the last month going through off-season, what would it actually look like for you? We have many athletes right now that are just kicking off their off-seasons. We have other athletes that are continuing on their races. We're going to customize for every Purple Patch athlete still racing, getting them into the off-season program as soon as their races finish. But what does this look like at a practical lens? I feel like I need to show you that. Well, if you want to integrate strength into your weekly training regime, it starts with the Sunday special for every single Purple Patch athlete. Remember, this is a system that we use, which is a systematically integrated weekly process of reflection, looking back, what did I do well, what did I not do well, what lessons do I apply to the coming week, and then planning and prioritization. So every single week, all Purple Patch athletes leverage this system. And we make sure that we are protecting your strength workouts. And then we build around them with the endurance components. And so this becomes really important because when I'm planning my week, I look at my life non-negotiables when I've got to take Bax to swimming, or maybe I'm getting him up for school and Kelly's out, whatever it might be. Then I'm integrating all of my priorities in work for Purple Patch. What am I going to focus on? What can I push back to next week? Then I integrate my exercise, my movement, my training, if you want to call it that, and all of my habits. My daily nap that I like to take, my lunchtime that I get to walk outside and have a little bit of a restoration, making sure I eat a proper lunch, etc. The first sessions I'm putting in every week, strength. That's what we do in off-season. If you're time-starved and you're moving into off-season, the place that I reduce my training load and increase my capacity is more on the endurance components. I prioritize strength. And so for every single Purple Patch athlete, from pro all the way down to people that are just getting into the program, the first things that we put in for exercise in off-season, strength. Okay, so that's how you integrate it into your plan. It's the bullseye. But then we have an opportunity to do a little case study, because we have many athletes that are choosing over the course of October, November, December, January into February to shine a light on what we call a project. Everybody is going through off-season, everybody is doing strength, but then there is an additional focus that you can opt into. Is it a swim project to rebuild your swimming technique and do the sessions to fast-track your swimming performance readiness? Is it a run project when we're looking to build tissue resilience and improve your posture and form so that we can get a step ahead on our running and make sure that we can stay healthy in 2026? Is it your bike where we really want to turn that from a weakness to a strength, increase the size of an engine, make sure that you become a master of your cycling? Or is it a nutrition project? And so these are components and projects that our athletes are choosing to participate in. All of them within the hub, getting together, leveraging a global system of support, accountability, and fun, and all guided by one of our coaches. And so let's imagine, for the sake of it, that we've got an athlete that's taking on integrating strength in their global off-season project, but also deciding to do the swim program. Fantastic. What could it look like? Well, as we talked about, they will execute their Sunday special. they will reflect, they will look ahead, and the first thing that they're going to put in is their 2 strength sessions. Key. Okay. Now, they also have an opportunity, if they really want to double down, to add a 3rd strength session. And the mature athletes, the perimenopausal and menopausal women, maybe some athletes that are weaker and would benefit on doing strength training, haven't done it before, might decide to add a 3rd session, typically paired with a little run. That would be on the weekend. So the first thing that you put in is your strength workouts. Super, terrific. They're then going to infuse 3 swims. So as a part of the swim program, we're looking to try and integrate 3 swims a week. So suddenly that's now 5 workouts. We then do 1 to 2 bike workouts. And those are, number 1, short high power, because we want to train the cardiovascular system. And if we have time, terrain management. But if it's too much time, we skip that one or we keep it very, very easy. And then finally, if you're a triathlete, embedding running. And that running would typically be wrapped around, all very easy, all short, real frequent. So you might do a 15 to 20 minute run after the swim if you have time. You might do a weekend strength and do a 10, 20, 30, 40 minute run afterwards. You might do a couple of standalone runs. But the clear prioritization pyramid is strength, swims, and then wrapping everything else around. Then the final component would be ensuring that they are embracing proper fueling habits for the strength workouts and daily hydration. And so this really is an unlock, because that athlete's total training time, even though it's 6 sessions a week, is going to be at least a third less hours than what they have been doing in the rest of the year, but it's built around their projects. So that's how we do it. Now, every Purple Patch athlete gets some customization, gets some support, gets some guidance. Quite often we'll have a coaching consultation to really help them planning out. But that gives you a little bit of insight. And so let's finish today to say, okay, well, what are the components of the strength program? Well, it should be pretty strong. But it's not just going there and hitting the old Gold's Gym. You're not doing bis, tris, pillars, and pecs. That's not what we're looking for here. We have a completely revamped strength program for this year. And we've been working hard on developing this over the course of the last 4 months. It's quite a project, but it's great. In fact, we went through over the summer months and we recorded 250 videos of the whole suite of strength exercises. This includes videos anchored around mobility, core work and stability, classic strength with isolated movements as well as compound movements, as well as more complicated 360-degree strength exercises. They go through the range of more beginner to more complex exercises. And we've built from the ground up brand new strength workouts for this year. We have 3-week progressions of strength. It's the same as we do year round. Week 1, week 2, kind of a transition week, and then we repeat those workouts so that you can master them and see the evolution. Then we shift for the next 2-3 week cycles. So it's 3 weeks, 3 weeks repeat, and then build on top of it. It's very valuable. We have, and we can move this on the days, it's not fixed in stone, but we place those workouts on Monday and Friday, and we repeat it for 3 weeks. You have the opportunity to do a 3rd workout on the weekend, and that's really for people that are doubling down on strength and choosing that as their primary project. It works very, very well. Now, within the scheme, you have opportunity to master the movements, and that creates adaptations, and also create adaptations through overload. And within the progression, there's a ton of flexibility. So if you're coming as a newer person to strength, you have the opportunity to grow and succeed. If you're someone that's more experienced, you can really challenge yourself. And there's progression over time. So these movements are built with absolute principles in mind that we leverage for our world-class athletes. It's just brought to you to be helpful. The good news is each week of training is going to feel pretty different while it's under the same banner of progression. In week 1, we build a comprehensive session where it's pretty normal in execution. And so you're going through a set number of repetitions, you're doing it at a weight or resistance appropriate for you, and you want to be successful. In week 2, we shift up the stimulus, where we actually slow things down and we leverage quite a few exercises which are eccentric, lengthening the muscle under load slower. That's going to cause a big over-recruitment. It's a different type of challenge. It's going to feel fresh. And then in week 3, we do some pause under tension, where there's even some static isometric movements in there. This is useful, particularly for you if you have low access to a proper strength and conditioning gym. So you can do these exercises with absolutely minimal equipment, almost from anywhere. And then, of course, there's flexibility into the program that if you are a member of a gym, well, it's easy to overload on this. The good thing is these are all built into every videos into our Training Peaks system. They have a brand new strength and conditioning program and tool. We've infused it into there, and this is only available to Purple Patch athletes. That's why I mentioned earlier in the show, if you're looking for a year-round strength program that you want to start now, that you want to supplement into your own training program as a non-Purple Patch athlete, get on board. You can do it. You can just leverage our strength program. That's great. And of course, if you're a coached athlete, one-to-one, or as a part of one of our squads, run squad, tri squad, etc., the strength program is integrated and a part of that program. So it can be bought as a standalone, it can be as a part of your comprehensive program. And that's strength training for off-season. You can tell that I'm passionate about it. I want you to be successful. And so without further ado, reach out. Head to purplepatchfitness.com, or better yet, have a call with us. It's a complimentary needs assessment. All you need to do is email us, info@purplepatchfitness.com. Why don't you write on the subject line, strong like bull, because that is what I want you to get. Take care. Guys, thanks so much for joining, and thank you for listening. I hope that you enjoyed the new format. You can never miss an episode by simply subscribing. Head to the Purple Patch channel of YouTube and you will find it there and you could subscribe. Of course, I'd like to ask you, if you will subscribe, also share it with your friends, and it's really helpful if you leave a nice positive review in the comments. Now, any questions that you have, let me know. Feel free to add a comment and I will try my best to respond and support you on your performance journey. And in fact, as we commence this video podcast experience, if you have any feedback at all, as mentioned earlier in the show, we would love your help in helping us to improve. Simply email us at info@purplepatchfitness.com or leave it in the comments of the show at the Purple Patch page, and we will get you dialed in. We'd love constructive feedback. We are in a growth mindset, as we like to call it. And so feel free to share with your friends. But as I said, let's build this together. Let's make it something special. It's really fun. We're really trying hard to make it a special experience, and we want to welcome you into the Purple Patch community. With that, I hope you have a great week. Stay healthy, have fun, keep smiling, doing whatever you do. Take care.